Today on the Canadian Way, the 2016 Jeep Wrangler Sahara Unlimited.
Bonjour, hi! We are back! Today, I'll be reviewing that Jeep Wrangler Sahara Unlimited 2016, and thanks to one of my viewers for letting me review it. First generation Wrangler arrived in 1987. That was based on the CJ, that was based on the Willys, which arrives in 1941. This generation Wrangler, called the GK, arrived in 2007, and the biggest improvement is the Unlimited, which has the 4-door. In 2016, a base price for a Jeep Wrangler GK was $28,000. Jeep Wrangler Sahara Unlimited GK start at $37,000, but this particular one with the option worth $48,000. This Wrangler have 200,000 kilometers on, and if you're on the market and searching for a Jeep like this, you'll see what it looks like after 4 or 5 years owning one. The Wrangler was inspired by the World War II Willys Jeep, and as we can see today, it's all the same looks. Same 7 vents, same round headlamp, same bumper, same fender flare, same hood latch, and the same square windshield. Through the years, Jeeps had roofs and doors, but they kept the door hinges outside, which I'm going to talk about later. The Wranglers still have those square tail lights and the rear mounted spare tires. And the license plates that still at the same place, but we had a t-shirt in front so we can hide it because we're men's. When we have a lot of snow here in Canada, this arm here tend to fall down, but they can take huge load, and they have powerful motor, so you don't have to broom your windshields on winter. Opening the hood of a Jeep Wrangler is pretty easy. It's like a buffet. Serve yourself. A nice feature about the Wrangler is that you can fold down the windshields on the hood, even if it's illegal. And even if I never saw nobody done that, it's easy. You only need to unscrew those bolts, fold down the windshield. Coming back to the door hinges, they're still mounting outside. They receive all the crap that is coming from the road, and that's what we get here. As a result, they rusted. And as a result, they loose out. Hear the noise. Because of the square profile of the Jeep Wrangler, Jeep had some roof guttler here, so you don't have any water infiltration when you're opening the door and get inside. Because the roof is removable, it has some water seals that wears out pretty fast, and as a result, you kept having some water infiltration inside, even if you have some roof guttlers.
Options, round 1.
Chrome fuel door, option. Hardtop, option. Match hardtop, option.
Option. And if you want the all-around vents here to be colored, it's an option. Color match front bumper, option. No one would have think that a kneaded back glass would have been an option on that vehicle. It's an option. Getting access in the Jeep trunk. Here we have 892 liters of space with the seats up, but when we fold down the seats, we have 2,000 liters of space. Considering this is a mid-size SUV, it's probably the smallest in its class. This trunk is built for the Cine Park. As we mentioned, it's tiny, so you're close to the person you love. Here, We have a place to step our feet so they don't slide because there's a lot of grips on. Then we have both two speakers here, and we have one in the middle over there. And we have the roll bar here to spice up your moment. Getting inside the rear seats of the Wrangler. Oh, I forgot to mention, the door is maintained by a strap. Getting access in the rear seats. It's not easy. I'm 5'8" and I barely fit. And now, let's see what happens if a big fat guys go inside.
I'm not fat, but I'm 6 foot though. As you can see, I got my knees stuck in the seat and I don't really have space. Actually, when I'm in the back of the Jeep and we're driving around, I'm always smashing my head here. No, Doris, I'm gonna die!
Getting in the back of the Jeep Wrangler, that's the fit and finish of the door, which is pretty unacceptable for a vehicle of that price. I also noticed that here's the rear window switch, but there's no label, so we cannot see that these are rear window switches. That's a horrible way to save money. Thanks, Jeep. But Jeep had LED lights here so you can see where your beverage is. What a great idea, Jeep. If I want to escape from the Jeep Wrangler through my rear windows, well, I know where my beverage is. As I mentioned, I'm 5'8", and in case I have an accident, well, getting access to the front seat. The access is easy, the driving position is good, but the seats are ordinary for a vehicle of that price. Getting in front of the Jeep Wranglers, the thing I really love is everything is well placed. They still kept the big buttons. That's the best way of making an automatic climate control. Why having button when you can have 3 knobs? Just like the climate control, the entertainment system is really great. You have here buttons which gives you quick access to everything you want. If you want the radio, you press the radio, you have your radio system, the AM, the FM, and then all your quick connectivity here. You have the USB ports, auxiliary ports. If you want your GPS, you also have the Garmin GPS here that is included in the entertainment systems and is pretty easy and simple to use. And also have the attitude, because when you're driving a Jeep, you have attitude. Steering button on the steering wheels. You have cruise controls. You have your menu here that you can control for your radio. You have the Bluetooth Connect for your phones. As I mentioned earlier, the seats were ordinary. Well, take a look at the quality. That's a 2016. It is pretty roughly damaged. Just another thing, when you arrive at 3 o'clock from your local bars at home and you don't want to wake up your neighbors, well, don't apply your handbrakes, because that's what it is.
Options round 2.
Leather wrap steering wheels. Well, this is an option. Automatic window switches. These are options. Automatic mirror it's an option. And for these great leather seats, option. And Alpine speakers, option. Heated seats, option. This Jeep Wrangler is equipped with a V6 Pentastar that has 285 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to a 5-speed automatic transmission, which is an option, and average 16 liter per 100 kilometer. And the owner told me that what he loves about the engine bay is that the horn is easy to access. The Wranglers have front and rear disc brake system and also have a solid axle front and rear. The Jeep Wrangler reliability is not terrible, but it won't leave you stranded. The Jeep owners told me that he's now at $2,000 for only fixing the suspension issues, and another $1,000 for all the other things. Now he has problems with the ABS system. He needs to deactivate the traction control, otherwise the Jeep will just jerk. Driving the Jeep Wrangler. First thing we notice in the Jeep Wrangler is that visibility. Visibility is great because the windows are close and I see everywhere around me. Another thing I noticed is that the noise inside the Wrangler, now I'm at 80 kilometers per hour and this is what we're hearing. The wind noise is pretty loud. The steering in the Jeep Wrangler, there's a free play and it's like it's loose. It feels pretty loosey. There's a lot of body roll with the Jeep Wrangler because of his high clearance. Now I'm at 100 kilometers per hour and I really need to speak louder if we want to hear me. You really feel the road with the Wrangler. The suspension is really bouncy and it's really not comfortable. Acceleration with the Jeep Wrangler, it's good. Now that I accelerate with the Wrangler, the ABS light is on, the ESC light is on, so electronic issue with the Wrangler. It's a Jeep thing. Coming back with the acceleration, it's not quick, but it's not slow. It's average. For everyday driving, the Wrangler acceleration is good. You won't have any problem to keep up with the traffic. For the braking, it's not reassuring with the Wrangler because the front end collapse and in an emergency situation, it won't be good. Overall, the reason why people buy the Wrangler, it's like it feels like 70s, 80s cars, which gives the fun factor of driving the Wrangler. It feels pretty old school. To conclude, the Jeep Wrangler is more toyish than practical. The off-road capability of the Jeep Wranglers is amazing, but the reliability of the Jeep Wrangler is a Jeep thing. The fit and finish inside of the Jeep is horrible. The practicality of the Wrangler is not that great, and the comfort is from another world. With all its default, it procures a unique experience. But that's why it's a Canadian disapproved, but it's the first vehicle that is driver recommend.